good morning, everybody. Let's get started. We'll start with a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for your goodness and your love. We thank you for another day of life, the first day of the week. You've preserved, Lord, our lives throughout the week, last week, and now we are starting another week. We lay our lives at your feet. We thank you, Lord, for protecting us throughout the night, dear Father. We thank you, Lord, for the gift of this day. Many did not see this day. We thank you, Lord, for your goodness. Now we lay our lives at your feet for your will to be done in our lives. And I pray, Father, that you will teach us today. And as our friends, Lord, are going to learn, and let them be blessed, Father. In Jesus' name, amen. My name is Faizi. I truly love natural remedies because it's easy accessible. You can get them anywhere in the world. They might call it differently, but it's still the same thing. And it's just from nature. Why natural remedies? These are they are so simple, very, very simple. And they help us to help with our, with our body to boost our immune system. And it is God's healing way. And these are the principles of health reforms, the 8 laws of health. I think you had a class on that, and also your LCs, they gave you your treatment plan with the 8 laws of health. And we're also going to look at nature's simple remedies, and that we're going to look at hydrotherapy, like poultices and herbs, the kitchen remedies, and also now the cooperation of divine agencies. And in Isaiah 41, one of the promises that the Lord gave us in Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I am with thee. Be not be dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Now let's look at the principles of health reform. The acronym is God's plan. First, whatever we do, we need to trust. And not just any trust, godly trust. We need to trust Him that this is the foundation and the basis of everything. He who began a good work in me, He will perform until that day. And always for open air. You go out and breathe the open air. And what does the air do? That oxygen. Where there's oxygen, there is no disease. It helps with our breathing and healing, and our lungs, especially now. And daily exercise. And some of us will be like, oh, no, I cannot. Even you, Brother Hutton, you can exercise, those muscles every day. You do gardening, all those things, they help. And sunlight, these are just simple things. Sunlight, you get the vitamin D from the sun and healing from the sun. And the sun, that lowers your blood pressure and your cholesterol. And also plenty of rest. We can sleep for 8 hours and have no rest. We can sleep for 5 hours and have rest. Rest is important, and above all, peace of mind. And rest in God's promises. That is the best rest. And lots of water. What does water do? Cleanses us in and out. Cleanses all these the impurities that are in the air, and you will see how we can use this water in different forms. And lots of water, we need it, and always temperate. Always temperate in everything, even the good things. We can be intemperate. We need to be temperate in everything. Even sleep. We sleep enough. Don't sleep all day and neglect other things, and other people do the work. You have to be temperate and temperate. Okay, you have to balance things. You said, oh, they said I need to drink a lot, I need to drink plenty of water, and then you drink excess. Don't do everything in excess. Let me exercise and exercise. Oh, they said I need to eat lots of vegetables, everything in excess. It has to be moderate. Everything in moderation. Even the sun is so good, but it can burn you. You have to be in moderation in everything. Nutrition, you need to eat good, nutritious food, food that will give us, that will help our body to heal, to strengthen us, to be able to go out, to also to have the food that will help us not to be sleepy, to be able to think, to use our frontal lobe that the Lord has given us. This is the foundation of any good health plan. And Hosea says, my people, this is God speaking through his prophet, my people are destroyed for what? For lack of knowledge. When I look back, I said, oh, God is so merciful where he took me from up to now, but he saved me through it all. And now let's look at good health is God's will. Whenever possible in attempt at physical healing, natural remedies are preferred therapeutic agencies. And now let's look at the natural remedies. What we are going to look at this class, we are going to look at hydrotherapy, that is hydro meaning water healing, and massage. We will not do massage today. Aloe vera and the charcoal, kitchen, medicine cabinets, things that you have at home. Sometimes we don't even know what is this for. We look at garlic, salt, cabbage, onion, potato. That's what we are going to look at today. And the benefits, what are the benefits of natural remedies? They are cheap. And they are readily available. Wherever you go, they are there. And simple, no great education. We have grandmothers and great-grandmothers. You were sick and then they would just go outside and pick something. They did not even go and get some education and then mix and mix. You are healed. Steaming, I remember my grandmother doing on my brother, steaming, and that's what we do now, okay? And treat the cause, not the symptom. And that is one of the most important thing. You know, you treat the cause, not the symptom, because the symptom you will continue treating it. And they have a positive side effect. You know, you don't take this and then because of the side effects and then you take the pills for that and that. No, they have a positive side effect. I know I did it last December, hydrotherapy, which I'm going to demonstrate it to you for one of my friends. It helped. We were treating it for chronic fatigue, but it covered many things. And she was like, I'm not incontinent anymore. So many things. And this is not what we are treating for. Those are the positive side effects that we are talking about. And also, from the selected messages, page 346, natural means used in accordance with God's will bring about supernatural results. I can testify on that even with my friend. They're like, wow, what is this? You know, God is so good. And if we trust him, that is the basic thing. We trust him that he will do it, and he does. So let's look at hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy is the most powerful non-poisonous means of quickly moving the nourishing, healing blood into and out of the diseased body parts. Now, what do we mean by that? We will look at I will also explain that to you. How does that, moving the blood from the, to the diseased part up to for cleansing, how does this healing takes place? The history of hydrotherapy. Like long time ago, from the dawn of recorded history, various baths have been used for the treatment of disease, like in Babylon, Egyptians, they did, and the Greeks, and the Romans all used various treatment baths. Sometimes we don't even know. I remember when I was in South Korea, I used to go to the, they call it jjimjilbang, it's the sauna. They have different kinds of, like this cold water, hot water, jacuzzis, and there is steam room, there is dry room, and all that. They just go for fun, you know, and for heal, just, you know, and so much healing that is in there. We did not understand that time. And also in Sparta, hydrotherapy became compulsory. It was a law passed requiring every citizen to take a cold bath frequently, not knowing that it increases the white blood cells that are the soldiers that kill the viruses in our body. Now that was a long time ago. Let's look in recent history. In the Bible, in the Bible, we remember the story of Naaman. Naaman, what was his problem? Leprosy. And he was a general, you know, he was a big man and all that. Even the king wrote a letter to the king, and just the little maid said, let him go to Israel. And he wrote a letter to the king. And then the king of Israel, what did he say? Oh, he's trying to fight with me. I have no. But he was sent to Elisha. And then Elisha, what did Elisha do?
He sent a suit and told him to go dip in the Jordan River 7 times.
Yes, he just told him. He did not even look, and no, there was no physical examination. You know, he just said, you go and wash in the Jordan River 7 times. And in Jordan River, what was his response? Exactly. He said, he's like, he was so angry. We have good rivers, clean rivers. He's naming them, all these good rivers. And then the Jordan River was muddy. Yeah. We're gonna look at that. We said it was muddy river. There is clay, and there was healing there. And then he dipped 7 times, and he came out, and then he went down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. He was despairing. You're like 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it is like that too with us, you know. Sometimes we come here and then we do all these treatments and we feel like nothing. And then when you go home, your body is relaxed. I'm like, wow, I feel much better, you know. That is the history of the hydrotherapy in the Bible and in the ancient times. And now we look at the most recent one, Kellogg, the sanitarium that he had. And Dr. Kellogg, like if we look at the Spanish flu, that was also another pandemic, the Spanish flu, people came to his sanitarium and they were healed with these simple remedies. And Kellogg was considered by many to be the greatest living physician of his time. Simple natural remedies. And also the popular use of hydrotherapy, like the colonic. Yes, before I have seen some people before they do the colonoscopy, they have to do the colonic to cleanse it, and it's clean. Jacuzzi, steam bath, water pick, ice pack, water aerobics, and water can be used in all its natural form, like liquid, gas, and solid. Okay. What is the rationale behind the hydrotherapy? The hydrotherapy, this is you assist the nature to combat the disease. How many of you have used the hydrotherapy before coming here?
Only because my nana came here and learned it.
Yeah. Then you tried it, okay. What happens is it increases circulation of the blood, you see. A perfect health requires perfect circulation. If there is no circulation, it will take long time to heal. And it stimulates the immune system to combat the disease and release the body of toxins, you know. Some of the, have you done the Russian steam bath, you know, all those, and then you sweat a lot. You know, even people who like, I don't sweat, you know, you sweat a lot. I remember one of my guests long time said, I don't sweat. So, you know, me too, I was like that before. And then I think maybe after 2 or 3 treatments, we did infrared sauna. And then one day it's like, Faisy, I'm sweating. So I forgot that she told me that she's not sweating. And I'm like, she cannot sweat. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I am sweating. I said, oh, okay. You know, I'm drying. I said, no, you don't understand. I don't sweat, but now I'm sweating. We were celebrating and happy because the toxins are coming out. We see God is just so wonderful. And also, what is the physiology of the hydrotherapy is, okay, let's say this is your blood vessel. So when heat is applied on it, you look at the middle there, the round one, the little one, round one, okay? That is the normal one. And then when heat is applied, what happens? It dilates, okay? And so by dilating, which means the blood come to the surface, okay? Let's say I have like something here, and then we apply heat. So the blood vessel, they dilate, and then the blood comes in there. Now that blood is oxygenated blood that comes to the area, and then we apply cold. What cold does? Constrict the blood vessels. And then, now that blood that is diseased and deoxygenated, now it is moved, it moves to the, it is transferred to the internal organs now for cleansing. And then by heat and cold, that heat and cold, what it does, it increases the circulation and helps with the healing. Okay, so what is the physiology? Like when heat is applied, it draws blood to the surface. And then when cold, the primary action of cold, it constricts and drives the blood to the interior organ. But when cold is applied for a long time, it has the same action as the heat. You become heated and become warm out of cold. We will see that. Who has experienced the wet pack? Praise the Lord. You know, first people, it's cold. It's a whole cold. I mean, ice cold, and you are wrapped in it. Ice cold, and then wrapped in with the plastic, and then the blanket, and then you relax, and then you feel warm. I fell asleep.
I tried so hard to stay awake.
Yes, you fell asleep, and that helps with the, like if you have insomnia, things like that. It is wonderful. It is wonderful. I had a day before you had it. So I fell asleep for real. Like, how can I fall asleep? But you were warm. It is so amazing. Okay, now the treatments that we are going to look at is we are going to look at hot foot bath, like we are not going to do all of them. The heating compress, fermentations, hot half bath, Russian steam bath, contrast bath. How many of you experience contrast shower or contrast bath? Don't you feel like at the end it's like your body is like, it's like breathing of like, wow, what is going? And then the cis bath, steam inhalation, ice massage, wet sheet pack, ice glow, neutral bath. I think most of us, we take neutral bath at home, and short cold bath, cold, meat and friction, irrigation, and nose or ear irrigation. And so we are going to start with fermentations, okay? I'm going to start with fermentations, and then after fermentation, I'm going to show you how to do the fermentation, and then we are going to do the hot food bath, okay? Since everything is on this side. You will see everything. Okay, now the fermentation, how many of you have done fermentations? Okay. Fermentation, so these treatments, these are for like if you have chest congestion, especially like this now with this coronavirus, like the asthma, pneumonia, insomnia, pain, if you have pain or sprain, contusion, inflammation. What you need to be careful for is the abscesses, skin lesion or rashes, and heart disease, because that will increase the heart rhythm. Now we are going to move on to fermentations. Okay, as I mentioned earlier on for the fermentation, you use it for chest congestion, especially any respiratory problems, for pneumonia, you know, for coughs and everything, okay? I will need a volunteer. We are going to do a dry demonstration. First, in your band, you need to make your band. You will need like a plastic, shower curtain, and then you put your bed sheet, okay? And then this one we are going to do with hot foot bath, because it helps. You can do it for for that. If somebody goes, sometimes you have like chest congestion with headache, it draws the hot foot bath, it draws the blood. Remember the heat, because it's going to be hot water, so it will draw the blood to the feet, okay? That helps with the healing faster. Okay, now I need a volunteer. You don't have to remove anything. I will need volunteers for everything, okay? You can just, okay. First, the equipment, sorry, the equipment that you need, okay? Some of us, okay, just hold on. Okay, sorry. First, some of us, we use here the fermentation pads. We have them here at the gift shop. They are made of cotton, hard cotton, and some they have fennel, and they retain heat for a long time. And you can have some from they are made of clay, that is for the hydro one. You use this one, and you can put this in a steamer. And since some of us, we do not have this, we are going to use towels. Who does not have a towel? We have towels at home. Okay, so what you do is, okay, you take your towel and you wet it. It's very easy. This, I told you, that's a tip. You wet it in the water, you wet it and make it, and you wring the water out, and you just take your warmer bag. Who does not have warmer bag? Put it in warmer bag, and you put it in your, you can put it in your microwave oven. First you make it, I make it 9 minutes so that it can be really hot while I'm busy preparing, okay? It's in the microwave oven, and then you will have one more towel, a wet towel, okay? This is a wool blanket. If you go to the army store, you will get these. You can get, they are so big, about $10, and you cut it into this, the size like this that you have. That helps to retain the heat, okay? Let's say this is another wet towel, because you're gonna need it. You put it, this is your wet towel, you put it over there. Then you will need a dry towel. You put it on top. That is also going to help with the heat, and the person will sweat very much. And now you can come, okay? Here we have our water, okay? You can come now. Okay, remember we have this hot towel, okay? If you can just remove your shoes, and you put your head over here, and then you will face down there. Your knees, okay? And then Your water, you will also need a thermometer, the pool thermometer. Your water should be between 102, 104. But some people, they cannot even take it, maybe 100, said, oh, it's too hot. So you ask them with their heels to feel it. How is it? It's good. Okay. Now you can lay down for me. Okay, there you go. And then just relax. That's all I need for you to do is to relax. Okay, you will put a hanger here if you need to, so that the water does not go over, you know, the sheet does not go over to the water. And then you cover over there. You will need some more boiling water there. And now our microwave, the 3 minutes is over. Then you will need a towel. You will fold it into 4s. Okay, you fold it, and then she has chest congestion. You put the towel over her chest. This is a dry towel. And then you have 2 layers over there, and you have to be very, very careful. You can use your mitten gloves to take this out, okay? And you put another towel over there in the microwave, and this is our hot towel, okay? It's very hot. You have to be careful. And then you over there, and then you cover it over there. And then you cover it again so that to retain the heat. And there you go, and you pray. We believe everything, whatever we do, is from the Lord. He's the one who gives us healing. And then you will also need over here ice cold water and with a washcloth. Okay, and then you see that, oh, she is starting to sweat, okay? You dry her, and you put over there. You will put this cold one so that the blood vessels are going to constrict to help the blood not to come to the head, so that she has no headache. You always keep the head cool. And also you will need to give her some water, okay? And then now it's after 3 minutes, the water there, 3 minutes, it's over. Okay, now we need the cold one. Okay, we have to do 3 minutes hot and 30 seconds cold. Okay, now it is okay. It's not that hot anymore. We put it again in the microwave. We have one that has been there. Okay. Now we are going to do the cold friction for 30 seconds. You warn her, cold is coming. Nobody is happy about cold. Cold is coming. You see, there we go. You do the friction quickly. You do the friction, 30 seconds, and she is so happy and happy and happy. And then you dry her with the dry one, and then you put this towel again. You do this exchange for at least 5 exchanges, and then you put the hot again for 3 minutes. You do all these exchanges. You put the hot. There it is. Okay, and then she says, "Oh, sorry, it's burning. I'm burning." Okay, but no problem. You just put another layer. Just another layer over there, and there you go. You cover her, and the water, always keep the water. I said, how is the water? I said, it's getting cool. Okay, and then when you change that, you ask her to move her feet, because you are adding more hot water now. And then you add over there, and then you mix it all together. And now, let's say you finish your 5 exchanges. Now you're gonna end the treatment. You're going to end the treatment. So this is the fun part. Okay. We're going to end the treatment. Then now you take the cold rag, okay, or the ice cold water. You lift it up, and then you pour the cold water and do your mitten friction to the heart, towards the heart, and you finish over there. And they must always have their socks. They need to put on their socks. We finish our treatment. You take the heart. Take the heart, and then we're gonna put the cold. Okay, the cold. There we go. Then we do the friction, and friction, and friction, and friction. And then we dry her. And then you finish. Your person has to rest at least 30 to 45 minutes, because when they are resting, that's when the healing takes place. Okay, and then we finish, and then, okay, assist her to stand up. And you also do the friction, the cold friction, because she was hot here, and sweating, and friction, and the limbs, and friction on the limbs, and that is it. And then they can go and rest. Okay, this one is called the hot foot bath. This one you can use it for headaches, chest congestion, for like if you have nose bleeding, and for cramps, for any pelvic, abdominal pains. You can do it because it draws the blood away from the body down to the feet. And like especially like the young ladies here, who have cramps and all the things. So it's very, very easy. With all these natural remedies, is things that you have at home. The only thing that you will need to buy is like the thermometer if you don't have. But most of the things that you need, you have them at home. And you will need the hot foot bath. You will need an electric kettle for that. You can even boil the water in the stove if you don't have the electric kettle. You will need the hot foot bath, and then you will need a pitcher, a wooden chair, you know, and because sometimes if you have metal chair, it can be too hot, but it's okay. And a wooden chair, you will need a blanket, and you will need a sheet, and you will need a hand towel, and then you will also need cold water because you have to cool them, and you will also need drinking water to keep them, because as they are sweating, they are getting dehydrated, so you are hydrating them by giving them water. And I will need a volunteer again. Okay, you can come. Like, you can come, sis. Oh, you, okay. It's nice to experiment these things, okay? Let's say she has a headache, okay? You also need socks all the time, okay? You can remove your shoes, okay? Just fill the water with your heels. If it's okay, take a seat. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, take a seat for me, please. Okay, and then the water, put your feet in the water. Okay, there you go. Okay. Thank you. And then you will put this, because you want the heat to be trapped in there. Okay. And then you have to wrap them first. You see, you are covering that. Okay. Wrap them with a sheet, the bed sheet. Okay. Remove your shoes and put them over there. Mm-hmm. Wrap them so good. And sometimes they will be sweating already. Oh, can just stand up a little bit. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's enough. Okay. Then your blanket over. Wrap them good, very, very good with your blanket over there. And you check, you pray with them. That's the most important thing. You pray with them, and then you check their temperature. And now, okay, you see some sweat, okay? You feel some sweat, and then you put the cloth, the cold rag over there, okay? You do this treatment for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, they are sitting there, and then you pray with them, and then you check the water over here, okay? How is the water? So it's getting cool, okay? It's getting cold. Okay, we have our hot water here, and you open it very, very careful. Yes, ask them to move their feet, and you add the water there, and then you mix it there nicely. How is it?
Good.
Can I add more, or is it okay?
It's fine.
It's fine, okay. Now they are sweating. You see, they will be sweating and sweating and sweating, and they will feel some like kind of relief, you know. And then now, let's say the 25 minutes is over. Now we're gonna end the treatment. Okay, we're gonna end the treatment. We have our cold water over there. That is not the fun part. Okay, you remove and remove. Remember the cold that brings those white blood cells into surface to fight all that bacteria. Okay, and we move it up. Now we have the cold, no, just leave it there. Now we have the cold water now, okay? We have the cold water. Okay, and then you do the cold friction. You do the cold friction right up to, and then you come to the limbs, and then you come to you start with the extremities, and then you do the cold friction, the cold friction, the cold friction, and the cold friction, and you can ask them to do it themselves, the front, and then you do the cold friction to the back, and then you cool them, and then when you finish, when you are done with that, you put them the socks. They put on their socks, and then you wrap them good again with another. If they have a robe, they put on their robe, and then you assist them. Take it easy. Don't stand up so fast. You can be lightheaded and you feel faint. And then you assist them, and then they go to bed and rest for at least 45 to an hour, and they rest. And they will feel some relief on that.
Hello, today we're going to be teaching you how to do the hot half bath. The hot half bath is one of the most important treatments, one of the most powerful treatments for strengthening your immune system. So if you're having any symptoms of the flu or the cold, this is the treatment you'd want to do. The goal of this treatment is to bring the oral temperature up to 102 and maintain it for 20 minutes. I'll show you what you need to do this treatment. First, you will need a bed for the client to rest in. We'll also need some towels for drying, as well as we'll use a towel in the bath to make sure that the entire body is covered. We'll need some water to make sure that they're hydrated through this process. Some ice to keep the head cool. Also an ice pack if the client needs more ice on the head, or if the heart rate gets a little too high, the ice pack would be the way that we would make sure that it stays at a safe level. During this process, we'll be taking two main things. We'll be taking their oral temperature and their pulse every 5 to 7 seconds. So we need a thermometer, an oral thermometer, to record what their oral temperature is, as well as we'll need a water thermometer. to record the temperature of the bath. It's good to have on hand a paper bag just in case the client begins to breathe too rapidly or deeply and may have a little bit of hyperventilation. This bag will help to decrease that by placing it over the mouth and the nose, so that the carbon dioxide that the client is breathing out so rapidly can re-enter the system. So this is good to have on hand. Now to our bed. For our bed, we have a regular bed here set up with our plastic sheet, because the client may sweat as they rest after this treatment. So we have our plastic sheet, we have our flat sheet. We'll be covering them in a flat sheet blanket. Also the gown that they'll be wrapped in. Feel free to use your pajamas or whatever you have at home. Today we're going to be using a gown, and also socks. When the client comes out or the guest comes out of the bath, we want to make sure that the entire body is warm, and socks is part of that process. To begin, we need to take the temperature, time, and pulse. We'll begin by taking the oral temperature with our oral thermometer. Under the tongue. We'll record what numbers we get. We'll also record what the temperature of the water is. We'll record what time these two temperatures were taken, and we'll take her pulse. Next hand. Perfect. We don't want the pulse at any time to exceed 140. If you can sense that your pulse or the pulse of the client is getting to about 140, we'll use our ice pack to slow the heart down. We don't want the oral temperature to get above 103.5, 104 maximum. Remember, our goal is for the oral temperature to get to 102 and maintain that for 20 minutes. We'll be taking the pulse and temperature every 5 to 10 minutes. All right, now we're going to have our client go into the bath. So our client is in the bath. Most important, we want to begin with a prayer. After our prayer, we begin to continue with the treatment. Because this is a bathtub that is quite shallow and our client is somewhat out of the bath, we can ask her to do two things. Scoot in a little bit, as much as she can, as well as we use this bath towel to make sure that her entire body is covered with the warm water. Here I have my pitcher that I will use during the treatment to make sure that the client is staying warm. Our water temperature began at 104 degrees. This is a safe place to start, especially if this is your first time doing this treatment. We want to see how your body responds. During the treatment, you can increase the water temperature gradually, but always to the tolerance of the client. We take the temperature every 5 to 10 minutes. It's about 5 minutes, so we're going to take her temperature right now. Her oral temperature, we're going to record the bath water temperature and her pulse. Under the tongue. Wonderful. Let me see the pulse. So far, we're doing good. Her oral temperature is still under 100, water temperature a little bit above 104, and pulse 102. So we're good. At this time, she may be feeling a little bit hot or warm, so we can begin to put some ice on the head. This is an important part of the treatment. We're gonna just put some ice on the face. Also on her head. We're gonna offer her some water to drink at this time. Recognize that we gave her water to drink after we took her temperature, because drinking water may affect the temperature, the oral temperature as well. How do you feel? Always communicate with your client. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling hot.
Hot?
Yes.
Okay. Really? You're hot? All right.
That's good.
So we just took her oral temperature and it's at our desired temperature of 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to maintain that oral temperature for 20 minutes. During this time, the client will feel very tired, very warm and hot. So just remember to keep their heads cool. Remember to give them lots of water. If you recognize, we've also added an ice pack. This will help to cool her down a little bit, but her pulse is exceeding or getting close to 140. So we want to decrease her pulse, her heart rate, and so we added the ice pack. Now we time 20 minutes. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Our client is so tired. She did great. We finished 20 minutes and now we're going to end the treatment. All of our hydrotherapy treatments, we end with cold. So first I'm going to empty the bath and then we're going to put some nice cold or cool water on the body to normalize her body before getting back to her bed. We're going to end the treatment with cold because it's so important that we constrict the blood vessels in the feet and the lower body to prevent fainting or any lightheadedness at the end of the treatment. So here we have our cold pour, our cold pitcher. We're going to begin with the feet, nice and slow. Cold water, not hot. We're going to make our way up the body. Lean back quite hard for us. We want to get the back. Now we can dry our client off, wrap her up and take her to bed. Now that our treatment is completed, our client will rest in bed for about 45 minutes to 60 minutes to an hour. During this time, we want to make sure that she's still staying cool. So we can put a rag on her head to make sure that she's staying cool with a cool rag, as well as we want to make sure that she's hydrated. So we have her water right here accessible at any time, as well as don't forget the client's socks and wrap them up nice and warm. Here we have a flat sheet and a blanket. The contrast bath can be done on different areas in the body. You can do it for your hand if you're having wrist pain, arthritis. Today we're going to do it on the face. Our client here is having a little bit of stuffiness and congestion because of seasonal allergies. So we're going to do this contrast treatment. Now the goal of the contrast bath is to increase circulation. So we'll start with putting her face into the hot water for about 3 minutes, and then we'll switch over into the cold water for 30 seconds. When we put our hand or any body part into the hot water, we cause the blood vessels to open up. We call it vasodilation. So the blood rushes to the surface of the skin. And when we switch over into the cold water, the blood vessels constrict, causing vasoconstriction. And so we have somewhat of a pump as we move from hot to cold. And this exchange from hot to cold causes increased circulation in that area. What you'll need for this treatment is a basin of hot water, and then either a pitcher or a pot that we can add more hot water as we go from one to the other. We'll need a basin of cold water and then some ice, a towel to wipe your face if you need that, some tissue because she may be blowing her nose through this process. And then we use this little thing called a snorkel. You don't have to use this if you're able to hold your breath for a certain amount of time, but we'll show you how to use the snorkel today. All right, so to begin, we're gonna get our client ready by draping her appropriately. We're going to say a prayer, most important part of the treatment, and then we'll begin. We'll start by having her go into the hot water. 3 minutes. 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds cold. How are you doing? Doing good? All right. So we've started our hot water at a temperature of about 104 degrees. Again, we want to really work with the tolerance of the client. If the client is only able to tolerate temperatures of 102 to even 100, that's where we'll start. And our cold water came right out of the tap, no ice added. All right, let's say our 3 minutes is completed. She's been in there breathing through her snorkel for about 3 minutes. Now we'll switch over to the cold for 30 seconds. Go ahead, I'll pass behind you. 30 seconds. While she's in the cold, I'm going to add some hot water to the hot water basin to increase the contrast every time. 30 seconds is up. Switch back over to the hot. We'll do this about 5 times. Sometimes you can even do it up to 7 times, depending on how congested you feel, as well as if you're doing it on the hand, how much the pain is increasing or decreasing. Today we'll just do it a couple times to show you how it's done. All right, hot, 3 minutes. Switch over to our cold. Now, I forgot to tell you that we're going to add some ice to our cold to make it even colder. Here we go. 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds is up. Do you feel like you need to blow your nose or anything? We're doing good. Back over into the hot for 3 minutes. while she's in the hot. All right, 3 minutes is up. We're going to end always with our cold. "30 seconds. Perfect.
One of my most successful and useful remedies is the ice massage. We use ice massage where someone has a stiff neck or a stiff shoulder. It is excellent on sciatic nerve pain, which is generated from the piriformis muscle in the buttocks. But I have also discovered we can use it where sciatic pain comes from the spine, which is a more difficult pain to relieve, but it still relieves an interesting amount of pain. And the last one that I want to talk about is phantom pain. I had an Iraqi veteran who had had his foot blown off in Iraq and came to me in a class 18 years later, and he still had phantom pain. And he did ice massage on his above-the-knee amputation, and for the first time in 18 years, all of his pain was gone. That was really one of the most remarkable cases that I had. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get a styrofoam cup, fill it with water, and it must be frozen for at least 24 hours. Otherwise, you end up with just icy cold water in the middle of it, and in the middle of your treatment, you will get a flow of cold water. So this has been frozen for the 24 hours. It's frozen solid. And what we're going to do is I score the bottom of the cup with a nice sharp knife, and I remove that portion of the styrofoam cup. Now I have a nice wrap around my ice, and I can easily hold it. An alternative for this is called a Cairo cup, in which the water is frozen in this cup, which you can get online. And then when you take the bottom off, you have a nice big block of ice with a holder so that you can apply the ice. I'm going to have my client come up and sit here on this stool, and first I will demonstrate how I will do a neck, a stiff neck. Now I would caution you, have some reasonable idea about what is going on with this person. If they have bone on bone or a very recent whiplash, that's not the kind of thing we're going to work on. This is for stiff muscles. Now I'm going to put a towel around her so that I can do her neck. What I'm going to do is have you turn around so I have your back. The first thing I do is give her a little of a rub here to possibly bring some blood to the area. Then I put the cold on my hand so that she will know that the cold is coming. And then we start. We use circles, and we go up and down that neck and around. And we're going to do that for 10 minutes so that we have a good numbing. It actually anesthetizes the area. Then we're going to put her head through range of motion very gently and rotate and rotate. And most of the time, when we get done that treatment, the person comes out of it and says, oh my, yes, that's so much better. Now the way we're going to do a shoulder, I'll do this shoulder here. Okay, again, I will try to bring some blood to the area. I will put the cold on my hand to give her something of a clue as to what it's going to feel like. And then I'm going to go all around that shoulder. One of my first cases was a physician who had had rotator cuff surgery, and she had absolutely limited range of motion. And we did this on her, and again, 4 stages: cold, burning, aching, and numb. The 4th stage is numb. When it gets numb after about 10 minutes, then we passively do range of motion, and we put that arm through all kinds of ways that it might move normally. And again, when we were done with that, everything was back to normal. Now, one of the best uses of ice massage is for sciatic pain. Now, let's say that Telekla's sciatic pain is in her right leg, okay, in her right leg. I want you up here on the table, lying on your left side. Now we're going to drop her foot. This is the side that hurts. We're dropping that off the table. And we're going to do what we call a diaper wrap. I'm going to put the towel between your legs. Okay, and we're going to have a diaper that can go down there. A diaper drape. Now, we're going to ice the length of the pain. And usually when it's the piriformis muscle, which is right here, it's usually down the side of the leg there. And so we're going to, again, you do figure 8s or circles. You don't stay in one place. You keep it moving all the time. And it may go up higher, but if the pain goes to the ankle, you ice the ankle. This will get, in about 10 or 15 minutes, this gets numb, and I leave her in this position to thaw. And time after time, in fact, every time I've done a sciatic nerve pain with this procedure, it's been completely remedied. Now, some sciatic pain happens in the back. Now, all right, I'm going to do the same thing here, where I'm going to go in circles, and this is for low back. The sciatic nerve comes out of the low back and goes down the leg. Again, I've had very interesting relief of pain with them having this treatment. I strongly recommend that you try ice massage for any of these conditions and be amazed at the results.
We use water in its three main forms: solid, liquid, and gas. Today I'll be showing you a treatment that utilizes steam or vapor. As you can see here in our setup, we have a pot down below. This is one way, a pot with a little burner, and this pot will be placed under the chair so that the steam will rise as we wrap the client and do this treatment. So here we have our pot. It's beginning to boil with our burner. Be careful because there's linen around the burner, so we have to pay close attention. I'm going to put my pot and burner under the chair. This treatment is a heating treatment, so the body will be sweating. We'll be increasing circulation. We will be using this. We can use this for things like colds and flus. We can also use it for headaches and chest congestion, pelvic congestion. Our linen, we just need a sheet, a blanket, and one more additional thing, a plastic sheet. I'll show you that in a second. We also have a hot foot bath or a basin with hot water at the feet, and always in all of our hydrotherapy treatment, we need a cool rag for the head. Okay. So she's placed her feet in the hot water. The water at her feet is about 104 degrees or to the client's tolerance. And we're going to begin by wrapping her just in the first sheet. The first layer is the sheet. So I'll start by wrapping her with the sheet. And you recognize that I'm wrapping her body with the sheet. Next, we have our hand towel or a little towel to really make sure that the heat stays in. Second layer is our plastic. So today we'll be using a plastic shower curtain. And this one we wrap around the chair. Remember, it's a steam treatment. So the steam is below the chair, and we're going to trap the sheet, the steam, by using this sheet. Finally, our last layer is the blanket. We'll begin with prayer and then time about 30 to 40 minutes. During this time, we'll be keeping her head cool with a cool rag and our ice basin. Just making sure that she's tucked in well. We'll be offering her water to drink because she'll be sweating during this process. We have her water ready and available. And we'll be also checking on two main things. First, the pot that's under her chair. We're going to be adding little bits of water to make sure that we have a nice steam, a nice boil going, as well as we're going to be adding water to the feet to make sure that she's also warming up by the feet, the water at her feet. So I'll show you how we do that. Is it too hot? I will yeah, I'll leave this one here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This one too, right? Sometimes during this process, because it is somewhat of a medium intense treatment with the steam under the chair as well as the hot foot bath, we may want to take the temperature of the client just to make sure that it's at a safe place. So here I have my thermometer that I can, if I have any concerns, I can take her temperature to monitor what's happening on the with the client. All right, now her 40 minutes is over. She's done with the treatment. She's sweating. Let's end. We always end with cold. So two main ways that we can end. We can either use the cold rag on the feet or we can do a cold pour. So we'll just have you take your feet out and stretch them all the way out for me, like we did. Just out. Wonderful. I'm going to use the cold rag. Or we can use the pour. Now put your feet here. All right, we'll dry her feet off and then go to the rest of her body if she was sweating, which she definitely would have been in this treatment. Starting with the feet, we do a cold mitten friction, both feet, then we do both arms. We can do the chest and the abdomen, or the client can do the chest and the abdomen if they're more comfortable, and then the back. Raise forward for me. Dry them off and then send them to rest for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Some of these, the kitchen cabinets that we are going to talk about them, we have them at home. They might be called in different names, but it's still the same thing. A cabbage is a cabbage, and they have the same properties. And now this has also a long history, like back in the Bible, in the pool of Siloam. The man that came to Jesus who was blind, okay, he was brought to Jesus, he was blind, and Jesus made a poultice out of clay and his own saliva, and he made the clay and he applied it to the man, and the man was made whole. He said he went his way therefore and washed and came seeing. He was able to see. It's so nice to be blind, and the first face that you see is the face of Jesus. And we are going to look at this kitchen cabinet remedies, the poultices that we are going to use them externally, and the herbs that we use them internally, like the cabbage. The cabbage, we use it both externally and internally, and the potato and charcoal, clay, comfrey, onion, figs, aloe vera, charcoal, garlic, celery, red clover, and hawthorn berries. And garlic is so good, especially right now. How many of you are taking garlic already? 5 to 10 cloves a day. That is very good. We will look at the benefits later on. And now let's look at charcoal. Charcoal and the external uses of charcoal. It can be used externally and as a poultice, and internally you can drink it. And also, it depends on the size of the injury. Now, let's look at the external uses. The infection, and it's for infection and inflammation. And especially for the liver and the kidney, you put the poultices over there. We're going to look at that. Eye and ear infection and lesions and bee sting, snake and the spider bites. We're going to look at that. And the activated charcoal, the miracle absorption of charcoal. Charcoal has the adsorption and absorption properties. And you can use 1 quart of activated charcoal can absorb up to 80 quarts of ammonia gas, and between that is 500 and 2,000 square meters to the gram. And enough internal use area to complete cover of several football fields. And it has been rated the drug of choice by FDA, and it is categorized as safe and effective. Even if you go to the ER with it, you are still safe. But you need to be careful not to take it when you are taking it with meds at the same time with meds, 2 hours before or 2 hours after, or else it will absorb all the benefits of the medication that you are taking. The sources of charcoal is the wood, lignite coal, animal byproducts, the bones, and also the unsafe is the briquette for grilling, and the Scotch food that is not safe. It has the carcinogens that causes cancer, and the burnt toast that is not good, and the barbecue that is not safe. And we have this pharmacist in French who took this, he gave a demonstration, and he took the strychnine, and then which is 10 times the lethal dose, and he took the charcoal at the same time. That is not safe. Don't do it at home. But he was not affected. So the safety and efficacy of charcoal, that is pure, it's just pure carbon. It does not impact anything to the body. Simply, it takes away the poison, and there are no known side effects. And the rule of the thumb is just to give too much than giving too little. but you have to be careful because it can constipate. And does the charcoal interfere with digestion or nutrients absorption? There are no effect could be detected on urinary levels of calcium, vitamin A, vitamin B, creatinine, magnesium, zinc. Nothing has been, no side effects on that. And then the conditions that are treated, high cholesterol, intestinal gas, snake bites, spider bites, intestine. It's so funny, last week one of the counselors was like, oh man, I had so much gas. And then somebody asked, did you take charcoal? It helps. It helps if you have gas. Peptic ulcers, drug overdose, poison. Even if you go to a hospital, if you have drug overdose, the first thing they give you is charcoal. Okay. How to use charcoal? In 8-ounce water, 1 tablespoon. That is equal to, if you have capsules, 4 capsules or 8 tablets. Food tends to interfere, as I said, so that you have to take it 2 hours after or 2 hours before. And the external use, do not place it on a fresh or open wound due to the possibility of tattooing. It causes tattoo. And just put the compress over the affected area and put it for 10 to 15 minutes. If it's like the poison, like if it's a snake bite or a spider bite, you put it there and take by mouth. 2 tablespoons in water every 2 hours for 3 doses, like 3 times, and 1 tablespoon every 4 hours for the next 24 hours. And one of my friends' daughter did this. He said it was the insect bite, and she did not even have to take her to the ER. How does, with the high cholesterol and triglycerides, a 1/4 ounce activated charcoal 3 times daily for 4 weeks, it lowers the LDL, that is there by 41%, the bad cholesterol, and triglycerides by 76%. And now I will show you the demonstration how to make the charcoal poultice. Now clay you can use it internally and externally. It is just as effective as charcoal, but it's not messy like charcoal. You have to be careful when you handle charcoal. And it also aids in rebuilding of tissue and cells. We are made of clay. Remember, when God created us, we are made of clay. When we take clay internally, clay is at home. It's like when you come home and you see your house messy, what do? Do you leave it messy? You clean it up. You clean it up. Same thing with clay. And clay, you take it internally, be like, oh, it sees all this, and then it cleanses, and then rebuilding the tissues and the cells. And it also absorbs the toxins, especially the heavy metals, and it used for an inflammatory disease and bruises, sprains, ankle, drawing toxins from the skin. And also the cabbage, this humble cabbage. We have cabbage wherever we go. Cabbage belongs to the cruciferous family. And cruciferous family, crucid comes from cross. So cabbage, like, it's good when you take it, when you make the, how many of you are taking the cruciferous juice? Yes, and also cabbage, it belongs there. When you juice it, it absorbs it directly to the bloodstreams. It has the effect that kills the root. You know, there was a study that was done, it was last year, I read it, a study that was done that they gave this cancer patient the cabbage, just cabbage juice. It killed the root of the cancer. It killed it. And the radiation just kills that, like the also just everything, you know, it kills everything, the chemo and radiation, but this one kills the root of the cancer cells. It kills it. And again, it goes with the diet, your lifestyle and all that. And so, for example, for pain, it's good for pain, okay? It is for varicose veins, shingles, eczema, gout, rheumatism, infection, hemorrhoids, and for pain and joint pains, that is so good. And for if you have bruises and abscesses, boils, and all that. And what you need to, I will show you how to do it, how to make the poultice of that. And the next one is friendly garlic. Friendly garlic. Garlic, it has the anti-clotting activity, anti-tumor capabilities, inhibits yeast organism, antiseptic, lowers cholesterol and triglycerides, a broad spectrum of antibiotic, antifungal, anti-heart disease, lowers blood pressure, antibacterial, is anti-inflammatory. It's antifungal, especially right now with this coronavirus. You take garlic every day. Last night I was talking to my sister-in-law, and then I think, you know, it was her night, and here it was afternoon, so I called her, and then I called her again. I said, oh, I'm sorry I woke you. I said, no, it's okay, because I forgot to take my garlic. She's been taking garlic long time ago. And I said, wow, you're going to be so good then. This corona will not get you, because it's also antiviral, and it's also antisocial. But you can take a parsley, and then it will take the smell off, but you still get the benefits. Yes, and I will also show you how to make the garlic that you take over here, how we make it. You can steam it, you know, and how you steam it. And then we move on to aloe vera. Is a pharmacy in a plant containing over about 140 substances. My grandmother used to give us aloe vera once a month. Never got sick. All these healthy things. Yes, once you get used to it, there is a lady in the cafeteria. I saw her one day with the aloe like that. I'll show the leaf, and she was just biting it. And she was like, oh, I'm just used to it. I'm just used to it. And she was just chewing like she was chewing an apple, like an ice cream. And like, I don't mind to drink the juice, because after some time you get used to it, you know. You get used to it. It's just like nothing. Why aloe vera? It produces at least 6 antiseptic agents, contains at least 3 anti-inflammatory fatty acids, 23 polypeptides, nutrients, amino acid, mineral. It's soothing. You know, when you get sunburned and you use aloe, how do you feel? It's soothing. Same thing in the inside. It does the same thing inside. Okay, and it works against troubling pathogens like the E. coli and all that. So look at those uses of the aloe vera. Bowel regulator, heartburn, you just get that 4 ounces of aloe vera in an empty stomach, and that is it. So good. Infected gums, canker sores, infections, stretch marks, and you know, it makes your skin look so good. Very, very good. And the skin of the aloe, there's the one that has the laxative effects. If you blend it, and it's also bitter, if you blend it, then you will have the laxative effects. Also scar inhibitor, growth stimulant, and the German research pharmacist Freytag calls it a wound hormone. Okay, it helps with healing. I have used it. If you have burnt, you like in the kitchen, always have aloe. In the kitchen, you know, it's easy to get burnt if you're not careful. Just apply it immediately. It's very, very good. Now we're also going to look at the nature, we call it Russian penicillin, nature's penicillin. This can be used effectively, especially now with the coronavirus. I will give you the recipe. Anyway, the recipe is also in there. For cold, flu, sore throat infection, respiratory problems, and general immune system strengthener. It is simple and inexpensive to make because it has lots of the citrus food like grapefruit, orange juice, lemons, garlic, onion, and peppermint oil. You blend all these, you cut them, just cut them like the oranges, the citrus, thinly and leave the white part. Just leave the white part and then you chop it and put it in your blender and you blend it, you have it there. And then you take maybe 4 ounces every day. You will tell others that I had flu yesterday. I know it. You will tell them that you had flu. Just take 1 cup a day, and it depends, you know. You can add peppermint oil, you cannot add, it's okay.
What's happening?
Okay. Okay, some of the things, for example, some of the things, they take time to heal, okay? There are so many things that are happening in your body, okay? For example, I don't know your situation, you know, your doctor knows, you know, some things you have to be, especially like with the natural remedies, you have to be patient with them because the sickness also came. It took a long time. It did not come overnight, you know. So you have to be patient with these natural remedies. Yes. And some of other remedies like the flaxseed. How many of you are taking flaxseed? Yes, flaxseed, it is rich in omegas, in anti-inflammatory, and it's also good in treating constipation, like the honey, aloe vera, and tofu for burns, and honey, lemon juice, and eucalyptus for sore throat, and you can also use the heating compress and the pine tar, sealing wood, that help with quick healing, and the cayenne, the tincture, and the powder for heart attack, and heart palpitation for any cardiovascular emergencies. And we looked at these 3, God's healing way, the health reform, the 8 laws of health, and we also looked at the nature's simple remedies, the hydrotherapy, and all the cooperation with the divine agencies that I'm going to make demonstration on all of that. And the Lord says, and ye shall serve the Lord God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. That was the promise that he gave to the Israelites, and he gives it to us today, you know. And if we obey and we ask him, he can use anything. He can bless anything that we use if we trust him, you know. Anything that this water, there is no healing, but he uses it, okay. Now let us look at how to make these poultices, these natural remedies. Now, we are going to start with the cabbage. Okay, we are going to start the cabbage. You go to the market and you get the cabbage. This one did not have so many leaves, you know, so it's better to use the green ones that have the chlorophyll, okay. You take the leaves and wash it. This was washed. You wash it good, okay, and then you can cut, you know, the spine. You can cut the spine of it. You cut it and you cut it because you don't want it to be so hard on it. And then you can use anything, okay, that as long as you be able to bruise it, because you want all the juice to come out, you see. You want all that juice to come out. That will help it to go to the skin. Or you can even take a spoon and just hit it, you know. These are the things that you have at home, okay. Do you mind to come over, my sister? Okay. Let's say her elbow, okay, you can come around here, okay. Let's say her elbow is painful, okay? And then you put it directly there on the skin. Can you hold that for me? And then you take a saline wrap. This you get it at Walmart on the stationery side. There you go. There you go. And that's it, okay? So that you don't cut the circulation, okay? Is that okay? It's okay. And there you go. You can keep it overnight, okay? And there you go. To make the poultice, and you can warm it if you want. You will also still get the more benefits. And there you go. Thank you. And then you finish. Okay, and then let's say, okay, that is for her elbow pain. I hope you'll still be able to write. You can take it off.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you say, sometimes you said, oh, I do not have a cabbage. Okay, I cooked it all. I made my salad and coleslaw or anything. But you have this humble potato. This is what I also used for my pain. That also helped. You can use it also for if you have hematoma, like the bruises, it breaks the hematoma. It helps with the healing faster. And you can grate it, and then you can put it in the cloth and put it like that. Or you can slice it very thinly. That's what I did. You slice it and put it right on top of the hematoma. It will help, and you put it overnight and you change it and change it. Those are the properties that it also good for pain. It's also good for pain, the cabbage. Okay, the potato. And also this is the garlic. Okay, for example, you say for earache. Okay, for also like earache for any infection. Now you are taking it externally. For earache, you just take just 1 clove of garlic. You just take 1 clove. And then you bruise it, okay? You bruise it, and then you can put it right in there, inside the ear. Or you can make garlic oil. You take olive oil, you take 1 clove, and then you can poke it so that you get the juice. You poke it, or you can slice it and you leave it there over 24 hours. And then you have your garlic oil. You can use it for cooking also, and you can use it for earache. You put it, the ear infection, you put that garlic oil right there. We always have it, and you can leave the garlic there because it will just be on it will settle at the bottom, and then you can put it over there. And you keep it at home in your refrigerator, and kids, they always have earache. You have to be careful in that. And also another one for earache, the onion, this humble onion. You take it and then you peel it and then you wash it and then you slice it across. You slice it across, and then you can steam it so that you get you activate the properties that are there, and you put it directly on the ear when it's nice and warm, and then you can wrap around, and you can sleep with it, and you will see it's gonna draw all that, you know. Onion, if there is any smell, it draws. It takes the smell away in the house. You just cut it and leave it open, and you see it will take, even in your refrigerator, you will not smell it, but it will draw all the smell. And if you, for example, there is somebody who is like the virus in their house, you put onion in that room, it will draw the virus in the onion. The healing properties of the onion, just you put it, that is for the external use. And also the congestion, you slice it, and then you take you can take a cheesecloth. You put it in the cheesecloth and you put it in the chest, children or adults, you put it in the chest overnight. It will draw all that congestion. And sometimes for children, they are so uncomfortable. You know, some kids, they can cooperate, sometimes they cannot. You put it under their feet. And on the sole, you put it there and you wrap it. It will draw all the congestion. The onion will draw all the congestion on that. Those are the other properties of the onion. Onion is very, very good. Okay, and now we may move on to the aloe. This is the aloe that you drink. You get it from the farm, from our farm. It's good to have aloe, okay? And then you will cut it, okay? And then you remove all the thorny part. This is how you make the aloe juice, okay? When you go home, you can continue, and then you remove the skin. And you know the skin, if you have some burn or sunburn, you use this and then you just apply like that, you see, and there you go. And then I'm going to show you how they make that aloe juice. Now the gel is there, and then there we go. There you go, okay, and then you make more of that, and then you add a little bit of water, put it in the blender, blend and juice, and that's it. That's how we make the aloe juice that you drink.
Why can't we incorporate the green skin?
Okay, you can put the skin, that the skin has the laxative effect. Yes, and it adds more bitterness. Yes, so you can add that. You can do that. It is okay.
Does it have more healing properties than the gel?
The skin?
Yeah.
The skin has the laxative effect. It will make you to...
That's all.
And also more bitter. It has also the same, it also has the same properties as the gel.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, and now, okay, this is flaxseed, okay? Flaxseed, you can also use it as a binder. Like if you, like instead of eggs, you use flaxseed. For anything that you cook, like baking, you can use the flaxseed as a binder. And now we're gonna make charcoal poultice. You're gonna make charcoal poultice. Okay. Miss Reagan, this is your gift. Okay, we have charcoal here. We sell it here. It's right there at the store. Okay, you have to be very, very careful with charcoal. So I'm going to make charcoal poultice. As you can see, we use this for charcoal. You will need the spatula, and then I'll make just a little bit. Yes, it's very messy. You have to start with it. Okay, and then we are going to use the flaxseed as a binder, because if you just use water, it's going to be hard, but you want it to be a little bit jelly. Okay. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Okay, and then you mix them nicely together. You mix it together nicely, and then you pour your water. Pour your water. You mix it. You have to check for the consistency. And the good thing is with this poultice, you can make it if you and keep it in the freezer. And children or grandchildren, they are playing and they, they have a bruise. You just go to the freezer and I will show you how to make it, and then you put it flat, and like the leftovers, when they come, you just break it and put it there. You don't have to worry about making it all over again. And then put it directly to be nice and cold. It will give that cooling effect in the body, and they will feel much better, and you always have it. Okay, there we go. You can use Chuck's pads. Okay, this is what is called the Chuck's pads. You can order it online.
When the action is in the middle of the...
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then you mix them well, very, very well. You mix it and mix it and mix it. Okay, this one has a little bit more water. That's okay. I know it's gonna gel up. Okay, and then you will need that. And then you put this over here. Okay, we use Chuck's pads, the bed pads, but these you have to be careful when you get them from the store, because they are not perfumed, and they also have this layer that makes it easy for us when we make the pulses. If you do not have that, you can use cheese pads, okay? And then you will also need, the skin tape, so that it's not messy, it does not go all over. Okay. Okay. This one is a little bit watery. I need to add a little bit of charcoal. Should be enough. Okay, and you mix it well. And if you do not have cheese cloth, you can use a paper towel. That is okay. And then you use this saran wrap to as a protection, as a protection, and it will also help with the as a waterproof, because it's going to be so messy. Okay, there we go. Yes. And then okay. And there you go. You see, and there you go. You can put it directly on the skin. Okay, you can put it. It will not be that messy on the skin. And if you do not have, as I said, you have paper towels at home, you can just put it on the paper towel. Say you have the ear infection, you put it on the paper towel. Okay, there you go, and you put it directly, and then you put the saran wrap, and that protects it. And then if you are going to take it internally, you take 8 ounces of water, pour powder, just a tablespoon, and you take it like that. And for children, you can give them the slurry water. You let the charcoal settle, and then they just drink the water, and that is it.
So that's onion,
charcoal pulses.
That's the charcoal with onions in it,
No, no, it has flaxseed.
and the flax.
Yes, only flaxseed. Okay, let's say we have this leftover charcoal, okay? I'm like, oh, I made so much, I don't know what to do with it. This is too much. You know, I did not expect to make so much. And you just put it in a Ziploc bag. Okay, put it in a Ziploc bag, you pour it there in a Ziploc bag, and flatten it and put it in your freezer. It will be flat like that in your freezer, and you have any emergency at home, you just break a piece, it's the size of the emergency, and you put it, and you put a tablecloth or anything, and then you just wrap it, and that is it.